Most people aren't broke because they're unlucky. They're broke because they've been hypnotized, conditioned, programmed, from the day they were born, into a system that sells survival but never teaches success. It starts in childhood. You're told, be realistic, play it safe. Money doesn't grow on trees. Just be grateful you have enough. They make you worship mediocrity. They make you fear ambition. They don't teach you how to think, they teach you how to obey. And so most people stay broke, not because of fate, but because of programming. They wake up every day in a loop. Same thoughts, same habits, same paycheck. Living paycheck to paycheck, not just in money, but in mindset. You want to know why most people stay broke? Because comfort is cheap and discipline is expensive. Because they trade time for wages and never question it. Because they work 40 hours a week for a company, but won't spend 10 minutes a day building themselves. And here's the truth. You were not born to be broke. You were born to break the cycle. But to break out, you must first break into the vault of your own mind. They don't teach you that money is a byproduct of mindset. That every dollar you attract starts as a dominant thought. But that's how it works. Always has. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." But here's what they don't tell you. Most minds never conceive wealth because they've been trained to believe it's for someone else. Look around. Most people are living someone else's blueprint. Working jobs they hate, to buy things they don't need, to impress people they don't even like. Debt becomes the new slavery. Comfort becomes the new prison. Distraction becomes the new God. And every day they say, "I'll change tomorrow." But tomorrow is just a story the broke mind tells itself. The wealthy don't wait. They decide. They move. They act. They think differently. Henry Ford wasn't born with wealth. He was born with vision. He didn't accept the limits of his generation. He redefined them. They laughed at him when he said he'd build a car for the common man. He built it anyway. You know why? Because winners don't ask for permission. They create their own permission slip. They don't beg for a seat at the table. They build their own damn table. Most people stay broke because they never build clarity. They chase money without a mission. And money without purpose becomes poison. You want to break out? You better get clear on why you want wealth. Not just the money, the meaning behind the money. Because without purpose, you'll burn out. Without purpose, you'll self-sabotage the moment things get hard. But when your purpose is strong enough, pain becomes fuel. Andrew Carnegie, the world's richest man in his day, didn't just pursue steal. He pursued legacy. He said, "The man who dies rich dies disgraced." So he gave away hundreds of millions before he died, because his wealth had meaning. That's the real key. Wealth without wisdom is just noise. But when your wealth is driven by vision, discipline, and belief, it becomes power. Not just for you, for generations. And yet most people never reach that point because they've never trained their mind to think like the rich. They focus on lack, on bills, on debt, on fear. They obsess over the cost, never the opportunity. They count every penny, but ignore every possibility. If you want to break out of being broke, you must first break the mental cycle. Every morning, you must reset your mind like a warrior sharpening his sword. You don't get rich by waiting. You don't get wealthy by wishing. You get there by becoming. Becoming the kind of person who does not accept average. Becoming the kind of person who refuses excuses. Becoming the kind of person who would rather fail trying than succeed quitting. You think Elon Musk made billions because he played it safe? He slept on a couch while building his companies. He risked everything, not for money, but because he saw the future before anyone else. He burned the ships. No backup plan. Just belief. And belief is the root of all transformation. Not fake belief. Not Instagram affirmations. But belief that lives in your spine. Belief that guides your action even when the results haven't shown up yet. Because here's the truth. Your results are always late to the party. They arrive only after your belief has been tested. Only after your habits have been rewired. Only after you've sacrificed who you were for who you must become. Most people quit when the harvest doesn't come quick enough. They plant the seeds and dig them up the next week because the soil looked dry. But wealth doesn't reward the impatient. It bows only to those who stay when others walk away. You want to know the real currency of wealth? It's not cash. It's consistency. Discipline over time. Sacrifice over comfort. Faith over fear. That's why most people stay broke. Because they quit on the 99th rep. Because they want results, but not the process. Because they chase hacks, not habits. Because they don't understand this simple law. You will never outperform your self-image. If deep down you see yourself as broke, as small, as undeserving, you'll find a way to sabotage every opportunity. You'll make excuses instead of moves. You'll stay in the same loop, new job, same mindset. New year, same bank balance. The world will never pay you more than you think you're worth. And that worth is not set by your resume. It's set by your identity. And identity is built through discipline. Wake up at 5 a.m., not for the world, but for yourself. Read, train, build, reflect. While the world scrolls, you grow. While the world complains, you create. While the world waits, you walk forward. Think about the greats. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before the light bulb turned on. He didn't just invent electricity. He proved that persistence is more powerful than talent. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Rejected by newspapers. Fired. Broke. He still kept sketching his dream. Why? Because vision doesn't need validation, it just needs courage. And that's what separates the rich from the broke. Courage. Not talent. Not inheritance. Not luck. Courage to believe in yourself when no one else will. Courage to go broke temporarily for something worth more than money. Courage to outwork, outlast, and outgrow everyone in the room. You want out of the broke cycle? Then stop living like a consumer and start thinking like a creator. Most people spend every dollar they get. They chase dopamine, not dividends. They buy liabilities and call it success. New phone, same paycheck. New car, same complaints. They look rich, but they stay broke. You don't need to impress anyone. You need to build something real. Delayed gratification isn't just a principle. It's a superpower. Skip the party now. Own the building later. Pass on the designer shoes. Invest in the skills that make you a giant. Because what you build in silence will speak for you in volumes. Most people stay broke because they wait to feel ready. They think the plan has to be perfect before they move. But listen to me. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes through action. Start now. Start messy. Start afraid. Start small. But start. Jeff Bezos started Amazon from a garage. He didn't have guarantees. He had guts. He had a vision larger than his fear. And he acted on it, every day like it was already real. That's what you must do. Walk like it's already yours. Think like the future version of you already exists, and let your daily habits match that identity. Because broke is not just a financial condition. It's a psychological trap. And if you don't change the way you think, no amount of money will ever set you free. But the moment you decide, really decide, to stop accepting average, to stop thinking small, to stop making room for excuses, that's the moment the shift begins. Because destiny does not respond to words. It responds to energy, to action, to hunger. So feed that hunger. Starve the doubt, starve the laziness, starve the comfort, and feed the beast within. The world doesn't owe you success, but it will give you everything. If you demand it from yourself first. Look around you. Everything you seek was once unseen. Every empire was once just an idea in someone's head. Every fortune was once a fire in someone's heart. So why not you? Why not now? Why keep living life on your knees when you were born to walk like a king? Most people stay broke because they've never questioned the system that raised them. They were taught to seek security, not freedom. To follow orders, not dreams. To save pennies, not build empires. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Security is an illusion. The real risk is wasting your life playing it safe. The banks can collapse. The job can vanish. The market can crash. But the one asset no one can take from you is the version of you that you've built from the inside out. Your hunger, your skill, your mindset, your ability to adapt. That's your real wealth. So if you're serious about breaking out, you must stop being emotional with money and start being strategic. You must master your emotions, or your emotions will master your finances. The broke spend emotionally. The rich invest intentionally. Most people let temporary feelings make permanent decisions. They feel stressed, so they spend. They feel bored, so they waste time. They feel scared, so they shrink. But those who break free, they move with principle. Not mood. Not fear. Not trends. They know who they are, and they know where they're going. You don't stumble into wealth. You build it, brick by brick, thought by thought, day by day. The mistake most people make is they chase success like it's a lottery. They want the prize, not the process. They want the glory, not the grind. But nothing great is built without sweat and suffering. You don't grow from what's easy. You grow from what demands your evolution. So if life is hard, good. That means you're being forged. If it hurts, good. That means you're shedding the skin of who you used to be. Because the version of you that stays broke, that version has to die. The broke thinker, the excuse maker, the short-term dreamer. He doesn't survive in the kingdom of wealth. Burn your old habits. Burn your excuses. Burn the stories you've been telling yourself. That you're too late, too old, too poor, too broken. None of it is true. You are not stuck. You're just addicted to the old you. But the moment you make a non-negotiable decision to rise, the universe will move. Your environment will shift. Your people will change. Your results will compound. Because energy responds to intent. And wealth is attracted to order, purpose, and power. The man who wakes up at 5 a.m. with a mission is already richer than the man who sleeps until noon without one. Not because of what he has, but because of who he's becoming. That's the secret. Wealth is not a goal. Wealth is a result of who you've become. Do you know what separates the wealthy from the broke? They read what others ignore. They study while others sleep. They invest when others hesitate. They execute while others procrastinate. They ask themselves every day, how can I grow? How can I stretch? How can I lead? While most ask, what's on Netflix tonight? That's why the gap keeps widening. Not because of injustice, but because of intention. You don't need more money to get started. You need more intensity. You don't need permission. You need conviction. You don't need luck. You need discipline. And the moment you realize that, you'll stop looking for a savior and become one. You were not born to live average. You were born to awaken giants. And your broke mindset is just a sleeping dragon waiting to be confronted. Wake it up. Rise up. Move like your life depends on it, because it does. The man who escapes the chains of poverty. He doesn't do it by chance. He does it by war. A war against laziness. A war against fear. A war against every voice, internal and external, that says stay where it's safe. You break out when you finally get angry enough at mediocrity. When enough is enough. When you're done being told what you're worth by people who settled. That's when the fire starts. That's when transformation begins. Because until your desire becomes stronger than your distractions, you'll keep spinning the same wheel. And listen, this world will not hand you power. You must take it. And to take it, you must earn it. Earn it with sacrifice. Earn it with action. Earn it by becoming the kind of person who's too dangerous to be ignored. You think Andrew Carnegie got rich because he was lucky? He started with nothing. A poor immigrant. No safety net. No privilege. But he read. He learned. He surrounded himself with brilliant minds. And he built something so big, the world had to take notice. The path to wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind. The mind that says, I will do whatever it takes. I will not bow to fear. I will not settle. That mind is rare. That mind becomes wealthy long before the bank balance reflects it. Because money doesn't change you, it reveals you. And most people stay broke because they're too afraid to meet who they really are. They're afraid to look in the mirror and say, it's my fault, my choices, my habits, my delay. But when you own it, all of it, you get the power to change it. You are not meant to live on crumbs. You are not designed for paycheck-to-paycheck survival. You are not here just to exist, pay bills, and die. You are built to build, to rise, to multiply, to command, to lead. But you have to stop chasing pleasure like its purpose. The broke chase feeling good. The rich chase feeling fulfilled. And fulfillment comes from becoming, from seeing your own growth, from realizing that the person you were a year ago would be terrified of who you are today. And that's the goal. So stop negotiating with your potential. Stop making deals with the devil of comfort. Burn the bridges. Burn the backup plan. Burn every maybe and turn it into a must. There are only two types of people in this world. The ones who create and the ones who consume. The creators shape history. They write books. They launch businesses. They build movements. They pour value into the world, and the world pays them back in abundance. The consumers? They scroll. They binge. They complain. They chase temporary highs and wonder why the lows keep getting deeper. You want out of the broke cycle? Then become a creator. Of thoughts. Of value. Of energy. Of solutions. Because money chases value. And value starts when you start becoming valuable. You can read every book on success. You can listen to every podcast. You can memorize every quote from Think and Grow Rich. But if you don't act, it's all dust. Faith without action is fantasy. Vision without work is vanity. And motivation without motion is a lie. This is where most people fall off. They feel the fire, but they don't move. They say one day, and one day becomes no day. But not you. Not anymore. You didn't come this far to stay small. You didn't come into this world to survive. You came to dominate. So now is the time. Now is the line. The line between broke and free. Between average and excellent. Between potential and power. Step over it. Not tomorrow. Not when it's convenient. Now. Because your dreams are suffocating in your hesitation. And the version of you that has it all. He's waiting on the other side of this decision. There will come a moment, maybe today, maybe in the silence of 3 a.m., when you'll look at your life and realize that every limitation was a lie. That the ceiling was never real. That poverty was never your destiny. It was just your default. And that default is yours to change. No one's coming to rescue you. No mentor, no job, no lottery, no miracle. The cavalry is not coming. Because you are the cavalry. You are the hero. You are the revolution your bloodline has been waiting for. Most people, they'll keep spinning. They'll keep surviving. They'll keep saying, one day, until they run out of days. But the few will rise. The few will decide that enough is enough. That broke ends with them. That excuses die here. That their future will be built, not begged for. So I ask you right now, are you ready to become one of the few? Are you ready to walk away from the fake life of pretending everything's okay? And into the real fire of building something legendary? Because that road isn't glamorous. That road will break you. That road will test your mind, your will, your spirit. You'll bleed. You'll fall. You'll question everything. But if you keep moving, if you keep the vision alive, if you burn the bridge to your former self and never look back, you'll walk out of that fire, unrecognizable, unstoppable, unbreakable. People will ask you, how did you do it? And you'll smile, not because it was easy, but because you remember when it almost destroyed you. They'll see the result, but they'll never know the nights you cried alone, the mornings you rose with no evidence, just belief, the days you trained your mind like a soldier in war. Because that's what this is, a war for your future, a war for your legacy, a war for the generations that will come after you, and speak your name with pride. Most people stay broke, because they settle, because they don't believe, because they wait. But you've seen the truth now. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You either rise, or you rot. So decide. Declare it. With everything in you say, this ends with me. I will not pass poverty to my children. I will not die with my potential still locked inside. I will rise. I will build. I will break every chain. I will become the one who changed everything. That's your power. That's your truth. That's your birthright. And now, it's time to claim it. But here's the truth. You can't upgrade your life with a broke identity. You can't become unstoppable while still clinging to the version of you that quit when it got tough. You have to kill your excuses. Not tame them. Not manage them. Not delay them. Kill them. The excuses that say, I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start next week. I don't know enough. All lies. All chains.